This is Talk 650.
This is Talk 650.
Powered by CBS Radio.
In the studio with us this morning, Houston Film Critics Society President Nick Nicholson with the latest scoop on what's on the big screen, what's going to be coming out for the little screen, and who knows what else he's got cooked up this morning. Nick, welcome into the program.
Good morning.
Good to see you, man. Welcome back.
It's a beautiful Friday.
Sure. I like the way you say that.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy.
We've seen some pretty interesting films this week. I saw one that I wished I could grab my life back.
Which movie was that?
I'll tell you in a minute. I don't want to steal your thunder because you've got some good stuff that is worth seeing this week, and we'll kind of pick that off right off the top.
All right. Well, we did have a few interesting films come out that actually opened today. There's a film by Zac Efron's new film.
Yeah.
Charlie St. Cloud opens today, but I have not seen that film.
I haven't either. I had a chance to go see that last night, and I passed because I was doing the video editing that I just described. And so I'll see that later, but it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it really does. And Zac Efron in an actual dramatic role that doesn't require him to sing and dance. And
let's see if the guy's got chops.
I bet the kid does.
Yeah, it looks like a great storyline.
I met him once.
Yeah.
I guess it was probably 4 or 5 years ago.
You guys were in grade school together.
Yeah, we were. I was actually the teacher, though.
Oh.
But no, he is a talented kid, and there's no doubt that the guy has a pretty good future as long as he keeps his head on straight. But again, we talked about that a few weeks ago, that those kids that have grown out of the Disney market have not really fared very well as of late. So hopefully he will keep going on the straight and narrow. And
we may want to go off on that tangent sometime, perhaps not in this segment, but I had a similar conversation about that with Anna Megan Rayleigh. And some of these young sports stars that are coming up, and they just bestow all kinds of obscene amount of money on them, and they don't know how to handle it.
Exactly. Well, I mean, there's a lot of truth to that, too. I mean, as a child, let's just look at it from a personal perspective. As a child, one of the best things that you can do, the most important things you can do in terms of cultivating your child and dealing with money is give them an allowance, so that they learn how to handle money.
Or just make them suffer.
That's it. And that's, of course, that's not without any responsibilities.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not suggesting just go out and buy them a car. But kids do need to learn how to deal with money, and subsequently people that haven't really had to deal with money all of a sudden thrust in a situation where they've got a 6-figure bank account. They don't know how quickly that can go away.
Yeah. So you think Zach was screwed on pretty good?
That's my impression. Is that he kind of knew what he was doing. His parents are involved in his career in a positive way. Parents involved in your career doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't necessarily equate to success. Look at Lindsay Lohan for one.
Oh, please.
So I mean, there are numerous other examples of the late Gary Coleman.
Yeah.
He sued his parents over monetary issues.
But they were trying to rip him off, weren't they?
Allegedly,
but still, I mean, obviously it's a flawed relationship.
Exactly. In other words, there's no Band-Aid you can slap on it, or no definition that you can put on it that will make it 100% this way or that way.
But you got to know that an individual is really screwed up, is really dysfunctional, if when you throw her in prison, the inmates want her to leave. and that's what happened with Lilo.
Yeah, there's some truth to that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't want her to be in the cell next to mine. I can't stand the smell of nail polish anyway, so I mean...
Thank you for going there. All right, we've got some good ones, though, this week. The one that I want to see, and I hope you have and will encourage me to do so, is the Dinner for Schmucks movie.
I knew you were going to bring that up. It's, finally, a Hollywood film that is truly going to make you laugh.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Steve Carell is one of, or Carell, depending upon which side of the pine curtain you live on. I think is one of the most. He's one of the funniest guys I've seen come along in a long time.
You know, Steve Carell and Paul Rudd, this comedic, you don't get comic pairings that really hit it off like this. And these two guys remind me a lot of Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin.
Well, I was going to ask if they might be the next new Odd Couple.
There you go.
You know?
That's it. I mean, who was with Chris Farley?
I don't know.
His name escapes me. But
you mean in Dumb and Dumber with David Spade?
No, it's not. It's not David Spade.
Well, we'll take a break and think about it. We got a commercial to play or two, and it'll come to us when we do that.
I'll think of the name.
Nick Nicholson, the president of the Houston Film Critics Society, but fortunately not their historian, in the studio with us here on the Talk 650 Morning Show. It's 16 minutes past the hour.